Hey up, I'm Joe Law, and this is Yellow Belly Presents, the visual podcast where we invite industry leaders to share the stories, strategies and secrets behind their creative success. Today we are joined by the incredible Layton Williams, an actor, singer, dancer and all-round powerhouse in the arts. From making his West End debut as Billy Elliot to dazzling audiences in Everybody's Talking About Jamie, Layton has carved out a career that's as inspiring as it is dynamic. He's not only a phenomenal performer, but also a passionate advocate for inclusivity and self-expression in the industry. We are so excited to have him here to chat about his journey, the challenges and the joys of working in the arts, and what keeps him motivated. Layton, welcome to the pod.
Thank you so much. I feel like I shouldn't be there when you do the intro because it's always a bit like, how do you sit and just take all the fab things that someone says about you? It's like, cool. Thank you. But that was lovely. Thank you so much.
Layton, at the beginning of every podcast, we ask our guests the same question, which is, could you share with us a song, a film, and a live performance that have inspired you throughout your life?
Oh, that is a very good question. A song that has inspired me throughout my life. I maybe would pick an Elton John song because I feel like for some reason Elton John always kind of has like he always pops up in my life and career. Like without him, I wouldn't have done my first job. I met my partner at Glastonbury and he was playing. There was just all these like different things. I like Loki had a little cameo in his movie. So
lots of like university moments that happen around.
Coming, yeah. So I would definitely say Elton. Well, what bop would I use though? Definitely not electricity. I'm not going to say that. What's it? Oh my God, what's it called? I hope you don't mind.
I hope you don't mind.
Your song. Yeah, I'm going to say Your Song. That's a bop. And it makes me feel a bit like emotion.
That I put down in a word.
How beautiful. The lyrics, yeah. How wonderful life is now you're in the world.
Oh,
stunning.
I sat on a rooftop and kicked off the moss. Well, a few of these verses, they've got me quite lost.
Oh, I thought you were just chatting shit then. I was like, he's
lost
it. Chat you up. Oh my God.
I'm just trying to chat you up, love. I'll be the Bernie to your Elton.
Lol. Okay, and what was the other ones? Okay.
Film and live performance.
Maybe Angels in America. I saw that The National.
The National.
That was unbelievable. Not seeing something that really just like, wow, it hit me. Yeah, I remember watching that and being like, one day I want to be able to not prove to people because I feel like I don't need to prove, but like do something of that like caliber. And,
yeah.
You know, something, to say serious playing, it does all that. You know, actors that do plays or actors that do musicals, and I don't really like to box myself, so that was like inspiring. I was like, oh, that could be a bit me one day.
That seems like a real hallmark of your career so far, is that you don't box yourself in.
No, I try not to.
You do TV and live like live theatre and stage, all sorts across the art. So I can definitely see you, like you say,
doing tackling that. The fingers are in the pies, and it's always just you just slowly but surely just like, okay, surprise yourself each time you do something else. Or
when you go and see something like Angels in America that blows you away, or any theatre, do you find it hard to turn off the critical, professional, I wouldn't have done it like that, or can you enjoy it purely as a spectator?
Like, oh, the accent.
Oh,
no. Where's she from? No, yes and no. Sometimes I try just to like, I always have a cheeky little Pinot Noir and relax and just chill. It's like, okay, you are off duty, but it's so hard. Like when you're watching something, because then the scene will happen and you'll be like, oh, audition for that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You'll be like, it's constant, or someone will pop up and you're like, oh, I went to school with him. Do you know what I mean? So it's hard to fully detach, but try as much as possible.
Slight tangent, but it's a bit like my daddy was a steel worker, and any time we go for like a curry on a Friday night or whatever, the first thing he'd do was sit down, he'd check the back of a like a fork or a spoon or whatever, and he'd check the grade of stainless steel it was.
Oh, that's cute though.
And if it was like 18, God, I'm boring myself now.
No.
If it was the best grade of stainless you can get, 1810, he'd waggle it in the air and go, it's a posh place, this, 1810.
And then go,
See ya.
Oh my God, that's my mum. Even Costa Coffee, Starbucks, she's got them all. Sorry, mum, just spill your tea. I guess if I was going to pick a movie, I might actually be super corny. And I realised before I got my first job, I watched this movie and I was like, oh God, like I'm going to be doing something like this. And it actually like inspired my life and definitely had lots of parallels to my life. So I'm going to say the Billy Elliot movie. That was like a massive inspo.
you said before you got your first job, was Billy Elliot your first?
It was my first ever job.
Yeah.
So, but like I had the film as a reference.
Yeah.
So like I kind of was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I'm going to do that. Because I had no clue about the musical theatre world. So that was like, I could literally just, every song, we love to boogie, like all of that. Do you know what? Actually, I'm like, why haven't they done a movie since? That was a long time. It's almost like 20 years, I think now.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's time.
Who would you have in?
I don't know, because the kid's in it, so I don't know.
And like,
who's a famous kid
who's a
nowadays?
famous kid?
Yeah, I feel like it'd be nice to like find like a raw talent.
And like, who's replacing Julie Walters?
I know,
What a
but do you know
legend.
what I think they should do? They should do it like they did Matilda and like do it as a musical movie
Yeah, yeah.
and really make it slap.
That'd be unbelievable.
Like it needs to happen, right?
Like the
With all the
solidarity
music.
with all the.
Fab.
So if we can go back to the beginning a little bit. So you're from Bury
Yeah.
in the north, up the north.
Oi, oi.
Woo! What was life like for little Layton in Bury, who loved, like from a working class part of the world, loved the arts and performing and larger than life? What was growing up like?
Well, to be fair, I didn't really love any of that stuff until quite late on.
Okay.
And then I was doing it. But like normal life, I always say that I feel like I was just like, I was a normal kid.
Yeah.
One of the lads, like I chill with the boys. I mean, I was always a little bit naughty, a bit of class clown vibes. Always knew I was a little bit different, but didn't really think too much about it because there wasn't that many people around for me to kind of understand what was going on.
Yeah.
Maybe there definitely were like queer people on TV, I guess, but like it just wasn't the things that I was watching. I would say simpler times, sometimes a little bit rough. Like I was brought up on an estate. I always apologize because I know my mum listens to all these things, but she's a bit delulu sometimes. I'm like, Mum, it was rough. Like, let's be for real. Like, it was not cute. Now I go back, I'm like, ooh, the ghetto. Joking. I'm joking. And now I go back, I'm like, hey, y'all. And like, how long you back for? Just one night. And I'm checking into my hotel in Manchester. Period. But no, I actually used to, when I like left and then came back again, I used to feel a bit like, oh, I didn't fit in and, you know, agoraphobic and like, oh God. And now I'm just like, it's just nice to be back and be home. But I would say just simpler, just a little, just normal.
Yeah.
Didn't really have too much of a hard time at school, to be honest, because I rolled with like the cool kids, I say in inverted commas. But like, also, if you tried me, I could clap back with my words. Like,
yeah.
I was never much of a fighter. Like, I didn't really do that.
I'd never start on you, Layton.
No.
I'd be on the losing end. I just know I
But
would.
that's what I mean. Like, if you did, I could probably end it.
Yeah.
Let's just say that much. Oh my God, not me getting. Do you know what I'm saying though? Like, no, people used to do that at school. Like before I moved to theatre school and like moved out of it all, but like I did like basically 1 year. It's like a normal school, state school.
Yeah.
Thank God, because I feel like if I didn't do that, I would be delulu.
Mate, 100%.
Can you imagine theatre school from year 7? Like I would not have a clue about the real world. So I did like normal school, and people like, yo, you think you're on this? Like, come on, let's fight. I'm so sorry, actually, I can't make tonight, but check in again with me tomorrow, and we'll see if we can make that fight happen. So, and they were like, yeah, cool, and then hopefully they forget about it because I'm not scheduling fights. At least it was respectful. They didn't just come from behind. But yeah, I was glad to kind of like get away and find my passion from young though, because I think if I would have stayed there, I don't know what I would have gone on to do, to be honest.
100%.
So it was meant to kind of be.
I think I had a similar journey to you in a lot of ways. I'm from a similar part of the world. I'm from Doncaster, you're from Bury. And I moved to London young, and sometimes I think the same. I'm like, what would
I have done?
Yeah.
I would have just been like the raging queen of the town. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't mean like that. Anybody in? Let's go. No, they would have made it happen and it would have been cute. I remember actually when I look back, the only regret I have of being young in my hometown is like, I mean, I was young coming out anyway. I was like 12, 13.
Yeah.
But I wish I would have even just been like, even, you know, if people asked me, I would have just been like, yeah, I am. Like, I'm what? Like, the only gays that were like in our school at the time was like, they had like bleached hair or like pink hair, and they were very like, I am ga 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 ga, and it just scared me to be like that, you know, full out. And now look at me. I mean, come on.
Well,
we're out now.
We're out now, baby.
There's no going back.
You're beautiful. You're lovely.
Oh, thanks.
So, was it getting Billy that took you down to London?
Yeah, that was my kind of like, like I said, Billy Elliot story, like the parallels of the actual story of Billy Elliot, Northern boy, kind of moving to London to go to the school. It literally happened for me. So I went to this audition. I always think like the audacity of me to even rock up, because like I'd never had a ballet class in my life, never done tap. I went to a school called Carol Godby's for like a little while, maybe like 9 months to a year or something. And I was like 10, 11, but I was doing like dancing to like Love Machine Girls Aloud, Missy Elliott. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't giving like actual classically trained, or I'd never put a tap shoes on in my life, and I think I just used to sing Anastasia. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was just not. It was
I'm
fab
out of
training.
love,
Yeah, exactly. I
set
remember I
me
sang that for
free.
like an audition for like the pop show or whatever. And shout out to Carol Godby. She's got some fab like people that have gone on to do amazing things, like Lucien in Emily in Paris.
Yeah. Wow.
Loads of people off Corey Emmerdale, like she's fab. But yeah, I just rocked up to this audition and I was like, let's just go. Like I had nothing to compare it to because I'd never been to an audition before. They were like, can we have everyone's portfolios? Can we have? And we were like, what the hell is a portfolio? I'm in my Mackenzie tracksuit and my trainers.
Oh,
the
yeah.
ones, they're back now.
Yeah,
the
I was
shops,
about to say
the
that.
ones with the little springs in. They are actually cool.
Early noughties was fucking, it was cool.
Very
wasn't
that.
it? Yeah.
I mean, it probably wasn't cool at the time. It's cool now. But yeah, I just went in and I literally faked it till I made it.
Your life must have gone from like 0 to 1,000,000 miles an hour
Oh God, yeah.
in a second. What was that like, experiencing that from such a young age?
Do you know what? I feel like I remember loving it. Obviously, there was times where I was like, oh, this is stress, because we had to like move from my hometown alone, leave all my family. And I'm like one of 7 brothers, 1 sister.
Yeah.
Like I've got a big family.
Yeah.
But I love them to bits now, but I can't say I was like dying missing them from what I can recall. I was just living my best life.
Yeah.
Like you're bringing me to these big old mansions, used to live in these houses with all these other kids who went to like theatre school, but also like the Billies and the Michaels and the Debbies, and we all just lived together.
Mhm.
And it was chaotic at times. It was fun, sometimes stress, but I mean, it was just my reality then.
Mhm.
And we would just do the show. It was like we just get picked up, taken to like I wouldn't even call it school. It was like we were like in an army barracks doing like 2 hours of maths and English. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure nowadays that wouldn't be legal, but anyway, we made it work. Me pretending to be on my laptop working, playing Habbo Hotel. Anyways,
I used to love Habbo.
oh my God, how it was that era. I was just
Yeah.
like, building a little city or whatever, like do the work, please.
Who needs GCSEs when you can build the most immaculate hotel?
Exactly.
I can't
and
count
I've got
to
a show
10,
tonight.
but-
Thank you very much. I don't need this. So that was like the norm for a little bit. And then I kind of packed in Billy Elliot finish, which was amazing. And then I kind of stayed on. I kind of stayed with the theatre school for a little bit.
Mhm.
And then it all kind of went tits up and I got expelled. So I had to go back to Bury.
Yeah.
And that's when things got a little bit difficult. But I managed to turn it all around, actually. And I ended up going to Italia Conti. They offered me a scholarship.
Amazing.
And I just kind of settled a little bit.
Yeah.
It was like it was like 5 years of just a bit like of normality.
Yeah.
After a few crazy years of just, it wasn't that mad for us because we weren't like the original Billies.
Yeah.
I was like the 9th one. So we weren't doing all the pressing crazy stuff that much. I mean, I guess I was. But it wasn't like too intense.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I could just enjoy it.
Do you think it's got any better for young performers from a working class background like you to achieve, to be a dancer, to be an actor, to be a performer? As in your career so far, have you seen that get better? Do you think it's easier now, or do you think the obstacles are still unfortunately there?
I feel like there is still a gate for sure, and it's hard to kind of like kick down. I think there's a lot more like funding and scholarships and opportunities, and also just like the fact that people want to do it. Like it wasn't really cool when I was wanting to do it.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, you're doing ballet, like, oh, and it was just like, yeah. It was like it wasn't. Nowadays, if boys, I feel hopefully like if people are into musical theatre or dance, and that it's cool.
Yeah.
And this was like not the cool era. So at least that's one positive thing. It's like respected even amongst the young, I would hope. I mean, you know, Six the musical. You know what I mean? Like
100%.
It's work. Like it's definitely opened it up for like a younger generation. But when it comes to like like the funding and stuff, I found that even I have a company called Pros from the Shows, and this is not a clang, this is just me trying to explain. I do a lot of teaching all around the country, and I see amazing talent, and we offer amazing opportunities, but you find money is like a huge thing for lots of people.
Yeah.
And we try as much as we can to bring people in and say, oh, we'll sponsor so many people, but there's only so much like a small business that I've got can do. Do you know what I mean? It needs,
Yeah.
even from like the ground up, primary school, secondary school, it needs to be an option to
Yeah.
kind of be a career.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess when you're from an area where it's not like spoon fed to you, it's a bit hard.
You touched on your company, Pros from the Shows there. For our viewers and listeners that might not know you've got your own business, what is Pros from the Shows? What does that do?
So basically, I set this up like a few years ago. It used to just be me, and it was called Dance with Layton, and I was always a bit of a hustler.
Yeah.
I feel because I came from not very much and we didn't have much money to play with when I was younger, I never really wanted to get to the point where I was like struggling again. So I would be on tour, say, in the ensemble of Hairspray, for example, my first like big touring show. And I would like every venue like set up workshops in like dance schools, and I would email them. And then in the summers, I remember looking back at like my schedule, I was like, you're crazy. I don't drive. So I was getting on trains everywhere.
Wow.
And I would do like 30 schools in like a month. I remember one summer I was completely free and I did like like 70 schools, just like boom, boom. And I would be tactical, like I worked my way like down from the country. I'm talking Isle of Skye. I'm talking Inverness. Like your boy was booked. Like I don't know how I managed, and I did it all myself. And well, actually, this is tea. I've never told anybody this, but I pretended that I had a PA, and I called her Liv. And the funny
Did she
thing,
have a surname?
Williams, like she's my cousin, but the gag is my cousin actually works for the company now as the co-director.
Oh, great.
So
She's a real person
sometimes
now.
I'm like, Olivia, by the way, you have a 5-year working relationship with this person, and you need to like pretend that you know them. Because she'd be talking, she'd be like, why does this girl think that she knows me? I'd be like, you've emailed her many times. Because I just didn't want that attachment of people being like, oh, I'm talking to Layton.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I definitely worked it from the ground up for myself. And basically, we just offer experiences. So whether you're booking a workshop with a pro privately, or like we host now, say like the big events like Move It, Musical Con, we'll take like 4 or 5 classes out there. And just to get people in the space and get them moving. After Strictly as well, it's definitely changed. Like it's not necessarily just young people wanting to be performers. It's like, you know, people that are not even wanting to take this as a career, but just want to do it for a bit of fun. And I think we can normalize that a little bit. It's not all day, every day like, I want to be a pro.
Yeah.
I just want to shake my ass. Do you know what I mean?
Who doesn't?
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and you are welcome. Come shake your booty.
Yeah, if you had an arse like mine, you'd want to shake it too.
Period. I'll get you shaking after this. But yeah, so basically I set that up, and then it's just grown and grown and grown. And, you know, we're hoping to like expand as much as possible, but like it's not easy when it's just like 2 of us and then we hire a couple of people here and there. But we've got like these sleigh clubs around the country. So we've got like one in Edinburgh, London, Norwich, Durham, Manchester, and we basically just bring people that I've worked with and like people that I really trust and respect to kind of give people like A-star pro quality workshops and experiences so they can have a little taste of what it's like.
That's incredible. If you had any advice for a performer that's out there right now who might be thinking about starting their own business in 2025, what would that advice to them be?
I'd say definitely go for it, because it 100% saw me through like downtime as an actor. You're not always booked. You know, we say booked and busy, but sometimes we just
you're not,
you know. And this is a perfect example of something that like really started from the ground up. Like just me, like, you know, really knocking on the doors, being like, and I would do deals for everybody, and then slowly but surely it can get somewhere. And without it, I genuinely would have like struggled. And sometimes like lockdown, I was like zooming with like a different school, like on the out ever. I had like a 9 to 5. I was busy because I just took everything online, and like, you never know where these things can take you, and then they can expand into something else. And then, you know, the internet's a powerful thing now. You can start something online and it can be collaborative, and you can kind of work with, I've worked with so many different companies around the country and hopefully beyond. So I would say go for it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like sometimes you're on TikTok or Instagram and stuff, and you see people like, just post it. But like, you never know who's going to like blow it in this world now. It's mad. It feels like maybe oversaturated sometimes, but you're never going to know. It's just like going to that open audition. If I didn't do that for Billy Elliot, I wouldn't be sat here now. So just do it, babes.
Just do it, babes.
Just do it, babes.
Nike, you can have that
Yeah,
for a percentage.
exactly. It's yours. It's Ada Babes campaign. I see it coming.
And also, you were continuing with your own business, even when you were booked, even when you did have shows.
Yeah.
You were doing that side by side.
Yeah, that's the thing now. Now that it's like a thing,
Yeah.
Olivia, my co-director, is constantly like, okay, so I'm like, Lord. But I'm crazy. Like, I will do like 2 workshops before like a 2-show day.
Wow.
I'll just make it work, like, in order to continue. And I'm very aware that, like, if I don't show up sometimes, people are like, where's Layton? Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's hard because, like, I'm almost like the face of the company, but I also want it to run without. And
Yeah.
But of course, if I can make it happen, like, I'm there, and it's always a good time. So
I think a lot of people might not necessarily know that about you. Your like ferocious work ethic. Because like Ross, who is behind the camera, for those people who don't know, for example...
We've shaken a leg together in the past.
I went to see Ross and you in Kiss Me Kate at the Crucible. And like Ross was saying before, the rest of the cast have their like Sunday off and have a chill and relax after a hard like 8-show week. And they'd get back in for the first show of the week on a Monday and they'd be like, oh, Layton, what have you been up to? And you've done like...
running around the town.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that contract actually for me was like super fab because I was in Sheffield just before I was about to play Jamie in the West End.
Wow.
Pardon me. And I knew I was going to do it. And we had a good time. That was a real good time. It was like, I had like that one number at the end of Act 1. And then I was kind of like, done.
Yeah.
It's too darn hot. Cheeky little 10-minute dance number, period. And shout out to director Paul because I actually low-key, he tried to make me in that second act. He loved bits. And he was like, okay, so Layton, you're just going to come on with this parcel here. And you're just going to, and I said, please, I love you. And I'm a team player. I'm a team player. Let me say that out loud. But I was like, I'm trying to get my shit together. Because for me, this was a perfect contract with the perfect role of just that moment. Because he didn't really need to do much else, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then I literally used to come off at 1, put my heels on, clack, clack, clack to the studio. And I would sing the whole Jamie track from start to finish.
Wow.
Whilst everyone else was doing up like Act 2.
Yeah.
I'd be in the studio because I was aware at that point I was not as confident with my voice. So I was like, I need to get this in.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's probably the hardest dance choreo musical number that I'd done because it was like so long. And shout out to Matt Flint, who I got to work with again at Strictly actually. But he killed it. So I knew if I could sing all of these songs shattered now, when I start rehearsals, which I only had like a week or 2, like they were bringing people to Sheffield to teach me Jamie because I didn't have that much time.
Wow.
So once I started rehearsals, I wasn't worried that I can't sing 8 times a week. So it was like, I was kind of getting myself ready for my...
For your moment, honey.
For my moment, yeah. But it was a really nice gig to do. And yeah, it was the perfect setup. But I was like, please don't let me bring that parcel on in that too. I was like, it's going to eat into my Jamie time. I can't believe how brazen I was to ask that. And I think because I was so cheeky, he was just like, do you know what? We'll get someone else to take that parcel. Like, thank you. And then I just came on for my bow.
Thanks, Paul.
And it was done, yeah.
Would it be right in saying that you auditioned to be the first Jamie and didn't get it? And then a bit further down the line, you did get the main part. What's that like, the initial rejection and then finally getting the part of your dreams?
It's funny because I feel like it's not... The story goes, basically, I don't know how I got this into my head. And listen, I think in life you have to be a bit delulu in order just to get through in this industry. Like, if you don't have colourful thoughts on things, it can just get a bit like,
yeah.
And I don't know why it was set up like this, but I just thought like my first meeting was like an actual meeting.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like, we're talking about this role, we're really thinking of you for it. Maybe it was the wording of how I was told that they wanted to see me. And I was not bragging about it, but I was just chatting to my friends, being like, yeah, we're on our way to a party or something. I was like, yeah, I've just got this meeting next week, And he was like, oh. My friend John was like, what meeting? And I was like, it's just this new musical. He's like, what musical? I was like, I don't want to. It's called Everybody's Talking About Jamie. And John was like, oh, okay, work. And I was like, why? And he was like, oh, well, I've got a meeting too for the same thing. I said, well, yes. I said, well, be the best woman win, I guess. he got the part, and he got an Olivier nomination for it. And listen, he's my best friend still to this day.
Yeah.
And I saw him in Sheffield as opening night. I saw him in London as opening night. And it wasn't until like maybe the second or third time that I saw it, I was like, hold up, this actually needs to be a thing.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, there was just something about the part. Like, again, I felt very lucky that lots of the roles that I played were like parallels to my life. Northerner, you know, queer, like this 16-year-old kid, it just made sense in my head. And I was like, I think I could do it now.
Yeah.
Because I'd gone on to do other roles and stuff, like, you know, touring around the country, doing different bits. And I don't think I was ready at that time, definitely.
Wow.
And I'm so glad John got his moment. It was what was meant to be. But I remember how it all happened. I was on tour. I think I was doing Hairspray. I was in Liverpool. I remember it so clearly. And I'd gone back to see the John in the show. I think it was like the press night or something. I remember making the email start, should I say it or should I not? And I think the headline was just putting it out there, something like that. Because I'm always like that with my agent. If I see something, I'll say. I was like, just putting it out there, you know, ... And I basically was like, I've seen Jamie again. I think it could be a thing.
Yeah.
Will you reach out to the team? Just say like, you know, give me a second chance. And I think this was like on like the weekend or something. Come now, 2 days later, I get a message just like from John being like, oh, can I give your number to the director? And I was like, what? I was like, this has moved quick. I said, yeah, I don't know how this has all happened, but cool. Long story short, I came. It was actually in Hackney. I came to my friend's house in Hackney, Dan Gillespie Sells, who writes the music. I literally sang the material around the piano, and I was just like, wow, this seems to be a thing. Like, my agent worked quick on this. I mean, my agent on like the working day on the Monday, I was like, so I went in, and he's like, what are you talking about? I was like, I didn't say shit. And I was like, wait. So I sent this email. The director was clearly thinking of me anyway.
Yeah.
My agent didn't say anything because I was literally in a contract. And then it all got a bit messy and I had to pull out of something, but it was meant to be. So like genuinely, and I don't say this just because it sounds good to say, like, you actually never know. So like when people go for auditions and they start beating themselves up and this happened with me with Cabaret and the MC as well. Like I put myself forward, nothing happened. 2.5 years later, whatever, I'm on the stage.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So like I never really fully count myself out anymore. I just go, cool. That was that.
The timing might not be right just now.
Exactly. And two of the best roles I've ever played, I didn't get to play them originally, but I think they've been like absolute staples in my career.
Yeah.
So to be an OG is cute, yes, but I mean, I still do my thing.
Yeah. And, you know, maybe you can improve on the OGs.
Not you throwing shade. Not you throwing shade. But no, and like different ways in as well. Like for 100%. Me, with Jamie being the first person of color to play that part and then set an example for like boys after me continued, which I was like, fab. All these like young, queer, you know, black boys get to see a role and go, oh, I can do that now. You know, same with the MC. I mean, now Billy Porter's playing the MC. It's just like crazy to think like people I don't know why I'm always the one. I don't know why it's always me. But it seems to be me doing this little like, you know, getting there first and then opening it up and listen, why not?
Do you ever get young fans reaching out to you and telling you, thank you, you've inspired me just by seeing you in these parts, in these roles, by you being the first person of colour to play these roles? It's made me feel like I can do that too.
I think it's definitely like it's had a little ripple effect, and it's definitely, you know, people come to the stage door, or they'll like reach out in a different way. And the other day actually, when I was doing a show, she was looking out into the front row, and you could see this black queer kid like living his best life, and I could just kind of sense like, you know when someone's kind of watching, but like the spotlight's over there, Miss Celine's singing, but he was just like, I kept catching his eye, and he was like proper staring us down. I thought, like, it just made my heart go, he's cute. And I saw him at stage door afterwards, and I was really hoping he would be there because he like almost made my show just by the pure joy in his face. And I gave him the biggest hug. It was just like, you know, like, you've really inspired us and all this. And you never really know what the show is going to do at the time. Like for Jamie, it spoke directly to queer youth, and it spoke to people and said, you know, you can be you know, do what you need to do. And I don't necessarily think it's me as a person. I just feel very lucky that the roles that I've played have done that. And then I try to, with what I can with my words and what I do outside of work, to kind of also, you know, be an example, but not all the time, because
Yeah,
sometimes
you
it's not
can't.
all day, every day. I'm not your example always, but I
Yeah.
like to, as much as possible. For example, Jamie inspired me to like really lean into my queerness. Like I
Yeah.
would never have gone on a red carpet and wore an open toe Jimmy Choo on a red carpet, not these bunions. But lo and behold, like I'm presenting Olivier, and I literally, like I said, auntie, like I literally was in a full black gown, and I just remember looking in the mirror and I was like, well, slay. Like I would never have really done that, but like
No.
being on the stage 8 times a week wearing the dress, I just thought, I look pretty good.
Yeah.
I look pretty hot. So I was just like, get a boy that can do both. And I really, yeah, it really kind of like inspired me to be a bit more like Jamie, which I
Yeah.
think sounds corny, doesn't it, when you say it out loud, but it's just so true. So yeah, I loved it.
Do all of your roles inform your everyday life in some way, or is it particularly that part of Jamie?
I think that part of Jamie definitely did that aspect. I mean, some roles, yes, sometimes they were a bit, like for MC, for example, it's a bit spooky, wasn't it?
Yeah,
So I was
yeah.
just a bit like,
Bit of a
I want
slippery
to take this
character.
home. Thank you. I'm going to take this wig off and we're going to, draw the line.
Leave that there.
But to be fair, if ever I need to host anything now, I'm like,
Willkommen.
I've played the MC. Yeah, literally. If I go to Germany,
Bienvenue,
I'm like,
bitches.
Bienvenue, willkommen. Just a bilingual queen. I can't remember where we went, and it was like, welcome, and I was like, I see you. No, but it does things. Like, for example, I flew out to Barcelona last year and just did like this little role in a movie, but I was like, what do you call it when you officiate? I was officiating a wedding.
Yeah.
I feel like once you played the part, I was like, well, I guess I could do this now.
Yeah.
I've done it for fake. Let's do it for real. So they always kind of like just help you in life a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
You're talking before about how you've become a role model to lots of people, especially young queer kids and kids of colour.
Mm-hmm.
Is that liberating, or is that a kind of pressure on your shoulders? How does that feel?
It's a mixture of all. I feel like we're only human, aren't we? So we get put on this pedestal a little bit, and
Yeah.
it really felt quite, I don't want to say stressful, but I felt the kind of like eyes on me when I did Strictly.
Yeah.
That was like, not me shocked. People are watching, doing like the most popular like TV show and telly. So obviously I was aware of that, but like not the magnitude of like what it was going to be. And for me, I was like, so obviously going to dance with a man. Like it was not a question.
Yeah.
But what we managed to do was hopefully it's not that deep. Like if I want to throw on a cheeky dress, if I want to whack on a little wig or a cheeky little lippy or a little, not that wig. Let me forget that Grease wig, child. She did not go down well. But I remember having moments of being in rehearsals and thinking, Nikita would chat things through and what the kind of process was and what we were doing that week. And I would always be like, okay, so who are we? What are we bros? Are we lovers? Because that would like depend on what I want to wear, for example. And so like once it got to like, we were getting further and further down the line, and we'd had like a little bit of stick here and there online and people being trolly, which, people just it's fine. But I let it get to me a little bit. And come the finale or like gearing up to it, I had visions of what I potentially wanted to do, but I was like, oh, maybe we should do like another friendly one. So like we get more votes.
Yeah.
How sad is that?
Yeah.
To be like, oh, let me not like butch it up. Because I can butch it up. Because I feel like also there's elements and queer people are 3-dimensional.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes I'm chilled in my trackies, giving it, I call it like boy glam. And then sometimes I'm giving you full femme fatale, and that's just fine.
Yeah.
And I feel like I really managed to, and I hope I did that on the show. And that I think just mums will come to me and be like, oh my God, my son loves you. And he's like, plays football on the weekend and he's doing this and that. And it's like one of the lads, but it's just like, oh, we want to vote for Layton Nikita.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's just cute. It just kind of normalized it. So that was the time that I felt pressure is getting worse. I was like, I can't be, it was just a lot, but maybe it was just me being dramatic. Do you know, like in my head, I was like, oh my God, it's all just too much. And it's like, actually, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's fine. We're just slowly but surely, me hopefully just being myself, being with Nikita, showing that this platonic, friendship vibes. It can be a beautiful thing. So we ain't that scary.
Did you learn something about yourself through that process, going through all that pressure that you didn't know before going into Strictly?
100% just resilience, for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, I auditioned for the cabaret during my Strictly process.
Wow.
It was like third week. I think I was learning the cha-cha-cha by 6 o'clock. And then 6:30, I was singing Welcome In. And because I'd been hit with this massive pressure, I just walked into the room and I was just like, boom, I just lay it. I think if I would have auditioned for it another time, I would have thought too much into it.
Yeah.
And maybe nerves would have got to me. But at that point in my life, nothing could have been crazier than what I was doing. So I think it really worked to my favor, actually.
Do you think there's one moment in your career so far that has really blown things up for you? Or it seems to me the three markers so far were, or four rather, Billy, Bad Education.
Oh yeah, how could we not talk about
Jamie,
that?
and Strictly.
Yeah, them are 4 big ones.
Yeah.
I think lots of people originally just knew me like on the telly. Bad
Yeah.
Education was such a hit when we first did it. Of
Massive.
course. And like everyone was watching it, and it's so funny the shift now because the kids. I used to get like, if the kids were walking down the street, for example, like I would cross over because I'm like, this is going to be a bit hell for me. Or like if I was on the tube and like a load of school kids would get on, I would get off and just change carriage just for the peace. Like love yous, obviously, but peace.
Yeah.
Now the kids do not care. They don't have a Scooby. I'll be out and about, and this girl came up to me a few weeks ago. It's hilarious. She's like, "Hey, just want to," and I was like, "Oh yeah," and then she's like, "My mum wants a photo," and I was like, "Oh my god!"
no.
Like, but fair play, like me and my peers, they have kids of their own now, and it's giving very Strictly mums and like aunts and whatever. I don't care. Listen, as long as people are tuning in and enjoying what I do, but it's really funny how like that switched. But yeah, Bad Education was definitely like a moment, and for me to be able to take it over the last few years as well and kind of have another shot at it felt like really nice, like a closing chapter.
Yeah.
Not to say it wasn't fun when I wasn't the star, but it's more fun when they give you more to do. And
yeah.
I was really, really, I guess I was shocked, but like really grateful that Jack Whitehall was just like, this is my baby, but like we want to continue it with you and Charlie. And I had a great time doing that. But yeah, that is the number one thing that most people like know me from on the telly.
Yeah.
And then Jamie just kind of like threw me back into the MT world. I feel like I'm a musical theatre girl again now. I like to just jump about. Yeah, I'm like, hey, I'm on the stage for a little bit, and then I'm like, deuces. And then I'm back. And yeah, but it's been really nice. Like Cabaret was like not my comeback. How dramatic. Who do I think I am? My comeback to the West End.
You never went anywhere,
You know what I
honey.
mean? Like, but like very much like it'd been a couple of years.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't really know what. And again, John McCree, he was just like, eye roll. He was like, bitch, do you just want to just copy my whole CV? And I was like, I'm sorry. But it makes sense. Like if we can do the same things, like whatever. But after playing the MC, I was like, okay, I've missed this. Let it not be too long for me to get back on stage. So Titanic came and yeah, I was there.
I think a lot of people listening to and watching this will be really inspired by you having a career in so many different mediums and would want to pursue that sort of career themselves. Success in stage and TV. And as you've alluded to there, coming back on Bad Education to write even.
Yeah.
How do you negotiate doing all those things at once?
I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes my head is like, what actually are you? Like, who are you? But I think, especially nowadays in this industry, like you really cannot like, fair enough if you are absolutely unbelievably insane at one particular thing, but I'm not fishing here, so please don't. But I don't necessarily think I'm just like the best and excellent at one specific thing.
Yeah.
Like back in the day, it was my dancing maybe, but then like I started playing the roles and stuff, and then I could hold a tune, but like it was never like, whoa,
Yeah.
Layton, sing for me, sing for me. Oh gosh, you got the notes there, Chow.
It smashed a couple of windows there, love.
But do you know what I mean? Like, and then my acting chops, like I knew I could deliver what needed to be done, but now I'm just like, let me sit in that. Like, I feel like it's okay to be a well-rounded performer and then
100%.
challenge yourself in different ways. And I for sure feel like I could lend them, I guess, talents to other things. Hence why when Bad Education came back around, I was like, please can I be in the writers' room? Like I would love to like have an opportunity to do something, you know, behind the camera. And then it's got me going now. Like I definitely feel like you know, I'm working on a couple of things, like collaborating with people, writing different things, and you never really know where life is going to take you. So I feel like be open and don't block yourself off. Because at college, when I was training, I was not singing. You wouldn't see me with a mic.
Yeah.
I feel like when my voice broke as a kid and I could no longer sing Defying Gravity in its original key, what's the point?
What is the point?
Like, what's
Stay
the
at
point? Do you know what I mean? Just like, just give up. But, you know, this was before Cynthia's riff as well. But literally, then I was like, come on, like, let's be for real. In order for me to get to where I needed to get to, I needed to work on my vocals. And it's so like, nah, I'm not boasting here. I said I wasn't fishing earlier, but now I'm not boasting. But people come and see me in Titanic now and they're like, I didn't know you could sing like that. I'm like, where have you bloody been? But do you know when you feel like you've been singing your whole bloody, like, last 10 years of your career? But now I'm like, oh, maybe it's just like, I've stepped into my own. I've definitely just gone, I feel like getting older as well. I'm just like, I really don't care. Like, I'd be the first one to laugh at myself if I crack.
Yeah.
Like, I do some Scooby-Dooby Oobies on that stage. Like, I really do. And I'm just like, Tina Turner will crack. Basically, my number in Titanic at the moment is a Tina Turner number. And sometimes I get a little, and I just go, ow, and it's just like, I just scream and crack on, and I will just crack up. That obviously not everybody has that, but I just feel like if you can't laugh, you'll cry for sure. So just gotta give yourself grace.
Do you think that's a vital component of having a varied career like yours, of stepping into something you might not be very strong at yet, and being prepared to be rubbish at it at first and mustering the courage to keep going?
100%, and like trust the process. I remember when I was doing Jamie, I was in a workshop for a play, and there was 3 actors, and I remember it was like a straight play, no music, no dancing, anything. And I was like, I wanted to do this. I want to challenge myself, do something different. And I remember one of the actors in it, he didn't know because I didn't make a fuss that I was playing Jamie at the time, and he made like a sweeping comment. It was like, oh well, to the director, it was like, if you wanted you know, a musical theatre performer to come and do this and not think too much about the text and you should have just asked one. And I was sat there like, right. And I didn't read him because I felt like me just being there and doing what I was doing and him not knowing that I was in musical theatre was almost like a read for him. And then lo and behold, he was trying to get tickets for his niece a couple of weeks prior. Do you know what I mean? So it's just like, So that definitely made me think. I was like, oh wow, there's like a little bit of snobbery when it comes to things like, you know, people like, oh, their musical thing, they shouldn't be on telly, and telly people shouldn't, oh, you can do plays, but not. I'm just like, girl, if I'm cute for the role, I'm cute for the role. Book me or don't. But like, I'm not gonna kind of like play with them things. And I think performers out there, if you can, easier said than done. You just gotta kind of fake it till you make it.
Yeah. What do you think social media and branding's role is in a modern, multifaceted career like yours? Is it a necessity, or if it wasn't your cup of tea, could you choose not to do it, or is that not an option these days?
I mean, prime example, actually, it's a really good question. John McCree has talked about a little bit, a lot on this podcast, but he's a perfect example. We played similar roles. He's booked and blessed. He's doing his thing. He's a very classy bitch, I would like to say. He's not on socials.
Classy, love.
I'm a bit ratchet sometimes, but he's not on socials. Like, it's not his thing, but he has an amazing career and he's doing his thing and it works for him.
Yeah.
I've always been a little bit like, you know, I get my phone out, make a lol video, and people just, I think especially after Strictly as well, people know me a bit more personally.
Yeah.
They're kind of here for it. And honestly, if I'm being completely honest, I like make my money more so now with them campaigns.
Yeah.
You know, working for different brands. I just filmed an amazing campaign at Fashion Week last week, which I can't say right now, but like, if I didn't do that kind of stuff, I probably wouldn't be able to do some of the projects that I do, because some of the projects I do are purely because I want to, and I realize how privileged that is for me to be able to say that. But Lord Jesus, I worked hard, so period.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
100%.
I got to the privilege by fighting and working hard. And also shout out to many, many people who've been able to help facilitate. And I would not be here if it wasn't for like scholarships and dadas and all of that. So like,
takes a village though, doesn't it? It really does.
100%. But now I can be like, okay, so maybe I can do this because I've got, you know, this 6-month contract with this brand and da da da. I mean, hopefully forever more growing. I'm not exactly doing, oh, actually I am. I was about to say something.
Oh, we almost got
not me forgetting. Oh my God. No, but like it's getting there.
Yeah.
And I feel like also just being 100% yourself and authentic, people can smell a rat when you're not being you.
100%.
Sometimes I see some of the girls who's doing like socials and listen, get your content, girls. Post it up. Do what you need to do. But sometimes I'm like, that ain't you.
Yeah.
You can just see.
Yeah, you can.
You can see it when people like
spot it a mile off.
Do you know what I mean? My partner is not on social media at all, but like I was like, do you know what? If you want to get yourself out there a bit more, he loves cooking.
Yeah.
He loves like, making food. Like that's his like love language, but that's his career is in hospitality. I was like, post it up. Like put it out there. And we're doing campaigns together. We're doing this and that. And like, you never know where it's going to get you.
Yeah,
and
you never.
And if you're actually passionate about it, I think it really shows. And it only takes that one person to see it and be like, yo, here's a check. So keep posting, bitches.
Cash your bitch.
Also, I wouldn't consider myself like an influencer, but I will influence you for a fat check.
You heard it here first.
Exactly.
Layton Love, we are coming towards the end of today's podcast. Just want to say thank you so much for being here with us.
Pleasure.
Woo!
Thank you.
We're going to end, if we may, on one final question.
Go on.
And that is, if you could play anyone in a biopic, past or present, who would you choose to play?
Oh, that's a good one. Do you know what? I feel like I would want to keep him super queer because I feel like it's just always done well for me. I feel like I'm not tall enough to be RuPaul, but he came to see the show the other day, and I know they are working on a biopic with him, and I'm just like, that would be so iconic to.
You'd be a great Ru.
Do you know what I mean?
Stick some platforms in.
Yeah, just
they
give me
make
a little,
Tom Cruise look tall.
Do you know
they
what
can
I'm
make
saying?
you look tall.
Give me a little heel lift, and I feel like I could do a good RuPaul. I mean, I do a RuPaul impression every single night, 8 times a week on stage, and he saw me do it. Can you imagine doing a RuPaul impression in front of him? That's pretty scary. So maybe I'd take that to the screen. Yeah.
And on that note, if you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you going to love anybody else? Can I get an amen up in here? Come on!
Amen!
To the moon! Thanks so much for listening. We really appreciate it. You don't have to, but if you fancied it, give us a follow. Lots of love, and we'll see you on the next one.